Greetings and welcome. How are we all feeling at the moment? Today's topic is on productivity. And productivity is a form of functionality, which I mentioned in one of my earlier videos. So basically, productivity means to be busy with a goal. You see, productivity is purpose-driven. We are productive because we want to achieve something, because we want to fulfill something. And believe it or not, being busy for the sake of being busy is actually extremely unproductive. Even if you think you're being productive, but you're not actually accomplishing anything, then your productivity is a waste of energy. And then you're actually being a lot more unproductive than you initially thought. You think you're being productive because, I'm doing all of these things, but for what purpose? And productivity is also taking responsibility. Taking responsibility for your routine, nourishing yourself, self-care, waking up on time, and having, as I said, having a good routine. And a routine is not a to-do list. A routine is a set of priorities that you need to go through on a daily basis to fulfill duties, responsibilities, but also to make sure that you can sustain yourself. And productivity is all about taking responsibility for the things that you need to fulfill, like your duties and your priorities. Productivity has a lot to do with prioritizing. And we think productivity is, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, like I said, for what purpose? But if you're actually completing tasks, then you get a small surge of dopamine in the brain, because pleasure and reward is what dopamine controls on a basic level. And completing tasks reinforces productivity, because even if you are not physically rewarded for it, you are chemically rewarded for it through your dopamine release. Productivity is about completing the tasks that need to be done, and also being able to time manage, so to make sure that you get through all of those tasks, because a lot of people waste a lot of time doing things that they don't need to. And it also creates fulfillment, productivity, when you have an actual purpose, you have a vision, you have a goal, you have a reason for being productive. And then you implement that productivity. And you start to feel fulfilled when you achieve goals, when you set in action plans, when you put your keys down and you're like, oh, that was such a productive day. Doesn't it just feel good? It feels good to be productive for a good reason, for an actual purpose. And fulfillment comes from, of course, achieving goals and being able to do the things that you need to do in everyday life. So remember to focus on your goals and these tasks that you need to complete, because yes, I know they're not always fun, and a lot of the time it's monotonous and it's just but once it's done, and then you feel good. And productivity can also determine your success, because if you want to achieve something, and success doesn't have to be on a massive scale, it can just be as simple as achieving a goal. And if you put action plans and you work towards this every day, then yes, you will become successful. But the opposite of productivity is procrastination and demotivation. And demotivation is what's going to lower your prospects for success. So you can only be successful if you are productive for a purpose. Otherwise, you are going to struggle to succeed. if you are constantly applying procrastination and just having really bad time management. And remember, productivity is all about practice. And practice doesn't make perfect. Practice just makes permanently better. And we become permanently better as we increase our skill. And how do we increase our skill? By being productive, by being functional, by being able to take out the action steps and to carry them out in order for you to build that. And it's about also building your capabilities and reducing your limitations as well. Productivity is working towards something that you really, really want to gain out of your life. And it's the only way to increase our skill in order for that to become obtainable. And as I said, productivity is the opposite of productivity. Procrastination is the opposite of productivity. And you need to challenge procrastination, because procrastination can make you lazy. It can completely just destroy your vision, your prospects. And if you don't challenge your procrastination, you are going to procrastinate more. And with procrastination doesn't come relaxation. With procrastination comes a lot more stress, because you have all this time to be productive, but instead you are dreading it. So you're trying to distract yourself with different things until it becomes extremely overwhelming, and it becomes this massive thing that you have a very, very little time to actually sort out and figure out. So remember to challenge your procrastination. Procrastination is poison, and you cannot be successful if you procrastinate. And productivity is all about time management. And a lot of us struggle with time management because we struggle to prioritize. And time management is allocating enough time for each task so that you even end up with extra time, because there will be at some point. It's about the ability to say, this task is going to take an hour. This task is going to take 2 hours. I need to have lunch at 1, so that's going to take 30 minutes. To make sure that you give yourself enough time to fulfill these tasks, to prevent stress and even more procrastination, which is absolutely horrible, because procrastination keeps you complacent. It keeps you stuck. It makes you doubt yourself. It makes you exercise your limitations. It makes you attract problems. Procrastination does not serve you in any way. And productivity also has to do with goal framing, how we frame our goals. Because if you frame your goals in the incorrect way, I don't want to be like this, instead of I want to be like this. You see, if you don't frame your goals, you won't be motivated, you won't have a clear vision, and you wouldn't want to be productive because you don't have a clear idea of what your goal is. Because when it comes to goal forming, framing a goal and how you do it is very important. Even if the goal is not for a good purpose or for a positive purpose, you need to frame it in a way that is positive. And I know it's difficult sometimes, and it can really get difficult to be productive. And some days we have our off days, we don't feel like it, we get sick, we're burnt out. It's a lot. I understand, it's a lot. And life can get really, really busy. A lot is expected of us, and it puts a lot of pressure on us as well. But the hard times where it's really difficult to be productive, when you just got home at 6 o'clock but you need to gym, remember the end goal in sight. And when you practice productivity, even on your worst days, it shows strength, It shows a sense of character. I want this for myself. I want to build myself up. And that's what productivity is for, is to build yourself up and to enhance skills so you can grow up and out of the limiting beliefs that you've had in the past. And the hard times truly test your resilience. So remember, productivity is not a question. It's something that you should always implement for a good state of your mind and a good place in life. So remember, you are unique and valuable. Take care of that stunning person. Stay strong wherever you're from. You are worthy.